Hi, I'm Francesca, your parenting coach. Today, I want to address a common frustration many parents experience. Why it often takes children longer than we expect to complete simple tasks, like picking up a tissue or finding their shoes. This is a challenge that parents of children aged 2 to 18 face, so if that sounds like you, listen up. The key to understanding this behavior lies in how your child's brain develops, particularly regarding object recognition. By grasping this process, you will be able to set more realistic expectations for how quickly your child can handle everyday tasks. And don't worry, I'll also share some strategies to help them move through tasks more efficiently. Here is some brain science for you. Our ability to pay attention and focus on tasks is heavily influenced by a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. This chemical is essential for learning, attention, and recognizing objects in our environment. In children, the acetylcholine system is still maturing, which means they are easily distracted and often take longer to focus on one task at a time. This also explains why children may seem to pay attention to everything around them except the task at hand. They actually are paying attention to everything that is around them. Have you noticed how small children can spot things moved around in a room they well know, even when us adults don't notice it? This is because their brain is not able yet to focus just on relevant information, because the brain is still learning which kind of information are relevant in a certain situation. Knowing this can help you as a parent understand that your child isn't being difficult on purpose. Their brain is literally wired to process things more slowly than an adult's. By understanding how these systems work, you can set more realistic expectations and better support your child's development. I'll share some strategies to help them focus and move through tasks faster. But remember, patience and empathy are key in supporting the brain's natural growth. From the moment they are born, children's brains are hard at work trying to make sense of the world, with a significant part of that process being the ability to recognize objects. While we adults do this instinctively, it takes children years to develop these skills fully. In the brain, the ventral visual stream plays a crucial role in object recognition. Since this area is still developing in young children, they often take longer to identify objects, especially if those objects are in an unusual position or partially hidden. Let's take a look at the developmental milestones for object recognition, and then we'll have some examples. Babies begin to recognize simple shapes and faces by around 3-6 months. Children between 2 and 5 can recognize familiar objects, but may struggle when those objects are out of context or partially obscured. Children in the age group 6 to 12 can identify objects more quickly, but they still may not be as fast as adults, particularly in complex situations. Teenagers' object recognition ability approach adults' levels, although further refinement continues well into their teens. Because object recognition is involved in nearly every daily task, like finding toys, clothes, or completing simple requests, understanding how this process works is vital for reducing frustration for both you and your child. Here are some examples of common challenges you might face. Imagine asking your 2-year-old to find their shoes. To you, the shoes are clearly visible there, on the floor, in the middle of the living room. But for your child, their brain needs to process every object around the shoes before identifying them. With a short attention span, they might start playing with toys instead of finding the shoes. This is how it goes. The adults can spot the shoes straight away. The child needs to look at each object around the shoe to find them. So, if on the floor there are the pair of shoes, a red toy car, Legos and books, the child process will be like this. Is this my pair of shoes? No, it's a red car. Move on. Is this my pair of shoes? No, it's a Lego. Move on. And also, is this my pair of shoes? Oh no, this is not my pair of shoes. What is it? Oh, I want to play with it! And they forget about looking for the shoes. With your 4-year-old, when you ask him to pick up a tissue, if a pen is on top of the tissue, they might struggle to recognize it because they aren't used to seeing the tissue in that position. The image they have in their brain of a tissue doesn't include a blue pen on it, and that's why they might not recognize it at first. Also, at this age, their curiosity can make it challenging to focus on the task, especially when there are more interesting objects around. Red car toy, for example. Even children in the age group 6-10 can take longer to complete tasks. Their brains are more adept at object recognition, but the world around remains filled with novelty and interest. To consider also the fact that many children at this age are very chatty, but still need to concentrate on their speech a lot. And this gets in the way of being able to quickly follow instructions. And if the task isn't engaging for them, they are likely to get distracted by other objects. The good news is that while it's important to understand your child's pace, there are strategies you can use to help them complete everyday tasks more efficiently. Let's have a look at this. Break down instructions. Instead of saying clean your room or sort out your room, break it down into one task at a time. For example, say, pick up the Barbies and put them in the pink bag. Once that's done, follow up with, now put all the marbles in the blue tin. Younger children often struggle with multiple instructions at once, so waiting for them to complete each task helps their brain process each step more easily. Visual cues. Point out the object they need to find or describe its exact location. For example, say, your shoes are under the table, please go and get them. Or the tissue is near the red car on the sofa, there, can you see, get it? So you give them a clear place to start from. Practice patience. Turn object recognition into a game. Ask them to point out objects in a room or in a picture book, gradually increasing the difficulty. Games like Spot the Difference can be great for building these skills. Encourage problem solving. Engage your child by asking questions like, would something be covered in the tissue? Or there could be a pen on top of the tissue, depending on their developmental stage. This encourages critical thinking and helps them create mental shortcuts. Turn challenges into learning opportunities. Everyday tasks can be valuable learning experiences. If you rush them, they'll take longer to learn. By guiding them through tasks, their ability will improve faster. After completing a task, reflect on the experience by saying, oh no, the tissue was very hard to find, wasn't it? But next time we know that we need to look under other things we can't find what we are looking for. Use the peace process. As we discussed in a previous video, the peace process can be helpful here too. In the example with the shoes, you could say, remember yesterday, the shoes were right by the door, but there were things in the way and you couldn't see them. Next time, try moving things when you are looking for something. This gentle reminder reinforces the lesson in a positive way. Now, how relevant is empathy in these processes? As you navigate these challenges, it is crucial to approach your child with empathy. Remember that your child is not deliberately trying to frustrate you. They are simply functioning within the limits of their brain development stage. Rushing or yelling at them won't aid their learning curve. Instead, practicing patience and understanding can create a supportive environment where your child feels safe to explore and learn. By applying the peace process during these moments, you can gently guide them without making them feel like they are doing something wrong. Empathy not only helps your child develop their skills, but also strengthens your relationship, fostering a sense of trust that encourages them to tackle tasks more confidentially. The more we understand how our children's brain work, the easier it becomes to manage our expectations and support their development. By being patient, breaking tasks down, and offering visual guidance, you'll help your child improve while reducing frustrations for both of you.